Right.
Okay, I hit the fucking record button. Hello. But yes, so essentially the play is a story of indeterminate accuracy considering the heirs of the Unseelie Court. I don't know how much all of you know about the Unseelie Court who aren't Eulalie, but just you know that there is a court, it's called the Unseelie Court, and this play is about the heirs. There are two heirs to the Unseelie Court. They are a pair of twins, referred to as the Twin Blazes of Autumnholm. You will know this because you looked at the map and you can see there's a place called Autumnholm, and you're like, they're from there. The two twins are referred to in the play as the head and the heart. The head is the quote-unquote main heir and was raised as sort of in a prince-like manner, raised to think about strategy, politics, battle, fighting, etc., ruling, right? This is the ruling half of the twins. And then the heart, which is the other heir to Autumnholm, is sort of the empathetic part of ruling. The sort of, I care about the people, I care about, our subjects, I care about the well-being of our kingdom in like a way that isn't politics and war and strategy. And so those two are the halves that are set to essentially be in charge of the Unseelie Court, with specifically the head being the one sitting on the throne. During the play, it also talks about how the head is the head and the heart, the twins, were raised with a person called the blade or the sword, and this is meant to be the person that protects the throne, and all three of them grow up together. Over the course of the play, there is a story beat in which the head meets a person called the Blue Rose, and this Blue Rose tempts the head into abandoning their duties and heading off in search of quote-unquote finding yourself, or something to that effect. And so the head abandons the throne and follows the Blue Rose into what is assumed to be like a portal to the material plane. In the interim of this happening, the heart assumes the place of the head and like sort of basically is attempting to like cover for them. And the play makes it clear that the heart is not at all like stopping the head from doing it. It's just like, hey, you know me, I'm an empath. Like, if you want to do it, we want to do it. I'm happy to like help you, find freedom and go off on your own way if this is truly what you want to do, right? And then by the end of the play, the head comes back because the heart needs help with the upcoming like Hag War. And so this is a topical story about what is happening right now and why quote unquote the like twin flames of Autumnholm have like become twins again, and there's like two of them now instead of just the one that there was for like quite some time, and that's where we are today.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, I hope that makes sense. Any questions?
Just a heads up on a little more detailed clarification for Yumi in there. What is it? Hako sees somebody facing them in their like flashback in the play where they look into like essentially like I think it was like. Oh wait,
Grace, before you talk about that, let me talk about what the flashback is, because there's been no context for what that is.
I was just going to describe what we saw.
Yeah, but let me just describe the fact that there even was a flashback that happened. So, because again, nobody aside from you guys knows that happened because like people were missing and it was not recorded.
Real.
So during the play, when the Blue Rose was sort of like tempting the heart or the head into like going to the material plane, there was a sort of lake as part of the set, and each of you, it was like a big lake, right? Like was, I don't know, magically made there, whatever. But each of you, even from your positions in like the sort of nosebleeds, like seats that you had in the theater, you could see very clearly into the reflection of the lake. And at this point, when the head was being tempted in, you all saw something different in the reflection of the lake. And I think, Grace, if you want to describe what people saw, feel free at this point, so there's some context.
People saw what they felt was the most important to them, or what they felt like was home to them. People saw a fancy bistro in North Bellamy. Basically, across from them, they met somebody. They felt it was a place they met someone very important. They couldn't make out the figure, but they were sitting across from them at the table in the cafe. Ron did not see masonry. Saw the place made of stone. No figures. Big open compound courtyard, and then leading into a big main. What is it, like big main, like grand, like a building. And he hears like some familiar laughters in the background. Kevin remembers a scene, or sees a scene from when he was in Helena's Cross at a farmer's market, at a stall, like producing with like a bunch of fruits and stuff, and he got caught stealing for the first time by a little kid, saying like, "Hey grandpa, you gotta pay for that."
Which is really funny because Kevin was like in his like 20s when that happened, probably.
Yeah, but he had a beard, so
yeah, grandpa.
There was also the blue rose person who has a very large rimmed hat, which Monica kept talking about. I guess triggered something in player Yachty's brain, because Yachty just straight up remembered that the blue rose. Yeah, Yachty remembered that the blue rose was it could possibly be the person from the camp in the Laurels. Where Agent K was sponsoring Myr, but the other sponsor for Myr was somebody named Cyrene. So it was somebody with dark hair, dark blue hat, and they were with the Asrian Agent K.
I've got a question, because I was not there.
Yeah.
Every other character got a flashback, but did Eulalie get anything? Because I don't.
Eulalie? I don't think Eulalie got one. Did she?
Oh.
Yep.
Nope.
Eulalie did not get one.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
She didn't get one because, I don't know. Maybe it was because she's already a part of the Feywild.
I guess.
Maybe. But yes, Eulalie pointedly did not get one. You and so you and Avani should have gotten one. We can do that now if you guys would like. The question is the same. So like, just pretend that we've flashed back to that part of the play, and you're all sort of looking down into the reflection of the lake on the stage. We'll start with you, Sanmei, and see, looking into the reflection, what is it that you see in the sort of like calm surface of the water that gives you a sense of like home, or is a place that you feel, or a time that you feel was sort of like pivotal to making Sanmei like who she is today? Like, and not in like a career sense, you know, but in like a like something that feels like, oh, like this is why I'm the way I am, sort of situation.
Right. I guess for her it would sort of be like the montage war flashback to Miori Shoal's compilation over like quite a number of years. I think she's been there for a while, right? Like the blistering heat of the sun, the sand on the beach, and I think more than the scenery is the sheer number of people that come in and then leave, and then come in and then leave, right? Every day's really busy. Her family is actually enormous. And like she's been I think it's like the sights and sounds of like Miori Shoals of her family, and also importantly, people from her family eventually also deciding to leave, but she's been stuck there like the whole time, sort of thing. So it's sort of like that sort of nostalgic sense of, oh, I'm in a place with a lot of like people. I get to see a lot of people, and also a lot of people I know. But also at the same time, that in between sense of, but they're able to go except like me, so I want to be able to leave at some point. That's sort of like, home's nice, but sometimes gets a little bit too stifling, I suppose. It's not bad, but it's not, you get tired. And I think it's that sort of like emotion and that sort of landscape, I think.
Is there a sense to Sonmei that like living in a place that for you is permanent but for other people is transitory has started to become like almost like weary for you, that you also want to participate in the like transitory nature of where you're from?
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because like being from a tourist spot is very different being a tourist. So I think like that's sort of her view on this whole thing, that after a while, I think, especially as an elf who has like a longer lifespan, like sure, she's pretty young for like the rest of her kind. We know grandmas like of her race, but at the same time, I think like it's a very long time to be spending in one place. So I think she's gotten like a little bit like tired of it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I think like while you're seeing that sort of montage and you're seeing that flashback, there's like a specific portion that like stands out to you more than anything. Is that it starts with you, I think you're like maybe wiping down a counter, and there is a seems like a half-orc sitting at the counter with you. They've got sort of like short dark like blackish hair and like slightly lightly green tinged skin, and they've got like a toothy smile, and they're holding like what is it, like a pina colada with a little umbrella on it, like a little wooden toothpick umbrella, and they're sipping it, and they're just chatting with you, like having a nice time, and they're like, oh man, I'm just, a really great drink, by the way. I'm glad to be on vacation. I'm not really the type to take them, but I'm glad that I did it. This is a nice place, and y'all are nice people. Thanks for the drink.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Do I get a response?
Yeah. You get a response. This is your memory.
Okay. I think like she would take, if the glass is empty, she'd take it from him and just like, well, thanks for the compliment, one another. We, how long are you staying here, by the way, may I ask?
Oh, I can't really afford that much PTO. I've got to get back to work. Rent, bills due. No, time paid. But I managed to get the day off because my boss fell down a flight of stairs, and so he can't come in. So I don't need to come in. Yes. So I gotta be back tomorrow though. So maybe I'll just do like a half pint if that's okay.
Sure, I'll get it for you right away. And I mean, you have to leave tomorrow, but at least enjoy the last night you got here.
Yeah, cheers to that, brother. And he'll like hold up the glass to you and be like, "Hey, I'll pay for one for you too. I don't know if you can drink on the job, but if you want, that's for you." And he'll hand over like payment for essentially 2 drinks for you to take as tip, or for you to get your own drink if you'd like.
Yeah, sure. I think like she'd pocket it and say, "Yeah, well, maybe not right now, but I'll have it after. Thanks, man. Owe you one."
Yeah, and he'll sort of like clink his glass to you, and sort of lean back in the chair and say like, "Yeah, if I would, I'd come back here for every vacation. Yeah, this is a nice stuff. What a beautiful place." And the memory sort of like zooms out a little bit, and then you see him and you and some of the other patrons come and go chatting at the bar, and then like the reflection on the lake sort of ripples a little bit, and you can see the familiar sort of speeding up of like another scene and another scene, and then another scene comes up, and you see the familiar orc, but this time they look quite different. They have sort of longer hair, long enough to be tied up into a ponytail, and they appear like visibly older, and they have like on their hip what looks like a tiny orc with like extremely pointy ears and a big old head and big old eyes. And they like plop them out on the counter and they're like, "Hey, Sonmei, I'm back. Look who I brought." And the baby orc, essentially, like the baby half orc on the counter, just starts like spitting bubbles at you, but in like a baby way.
Jeez. What's that? Wait, don't tell me. Your kid?
I made this. Look at this. And he like kind of shakes the baby a little bit, and then a red-headed elven woman comes up and like smacks him across the head. It's just like, "How many times have I told you not to shake the baby? Hi, Sonmei. So sorry you had to see him again. Come here." And then like picks up the baby, and the orc dad is just sort of like rubbing the back of his head. He's just like, "Yeah, oops. Listen, Serene, she can take the smacks. I mean, come on, she's an orc. She's got rocks in there just like me." And now you can see that like the orc has a family, and he's brought his family to the same vacation spot. That, as he said, he'd like to come here every year for PTO. And yeah, you see their like small like orc elf family with their little baby, and the same thing, the baby's now crawling on the counter and the mom's trying to make sure like she doesn't fall off. The orc dad's laughing, and you're in the background sort of like serving them drinks. And then the flashback feels like it's going on forever, but also quite short. Maybe this is the last scene you see of like the like transients passing by, but you see this time that there is a red-headed, slightly green-tinged, older, like teenaged woman sitting at your bar, and she's nursing a pina colada that has like a little umbrella in it. And like you look sort of like in the frame of the lake, like you look up at her and you see your like old friend's face, but on an adult teenage woman, and you don't see him or the other elf in the or his wife. And she sort of like clinks glasses with you and like leans back and is just like, "I can see why my dad liked it here so much. He said I fell off the counter twice."
Hit your head twice too, yeah.
That explains a lot. And then she just takes a swig, and I think like that's when the seed like scene like fades for you, and you're like brought back into the play.
Right. Okay.
Cool. Yep, that was your flashback. Avani, I think we'll go with yours next, or I suppose we'll finish up with yours. What is it that you see when you like look into the pool, the lake on the stage that reminds you of like home, or reminds you of like makes you think of like, oh, this is when like I knew who I was, or like what I meant to do?
It reminds her of her. I actually think she actually sees a little. It's like the inside of a small village house. It's kind of very it's very normal, like you know, just like a very simple village house, and an older woman that looks like her is in the kitchen cooking. So she's sitting at a table, and the food smells really good. And then when she looks out the window, she actually she sees a lot of she sees a lot of people outside in the village, obviously, but like there's specifically this a lady that looks kind of familiar, but she doesn't actually know, with green hair.
Is the lady with green hair outside of your home, just like puttering around in the village, or
like just outside the window, and like it just happens to be looking towards her, like when she looks out, their eyes meet, and this person seems kind of familiar, but she doesn't actually know her. Like if you ask Stavania, like, who is that, she doesn't know.
Yeah,
they look kind of familiar.
The green-haired woman, like outside, she like sort of looks at you, tilts her head, and then like gives you a little finger wave, like hello, and like points to herself and like makes like tilts her head to the side, like Do we know each other?
Avani will wave back and also give her a kind of quizzical look, like, I don't think so. You kind of look familiar, but I also don't know. Though I feel like the person outside knows who she is, though.
Yeah, the person outside with the green hair, she'll like give you a smile and then shrug and say like, I mean, if you don't remember me, that's okay. Maybe you're not meant to remember just yet. But, well, nice to meet you. What's your name?
She will move closer to the window, and then the person in the kitchen will be like, Avani, who's that? And she's like, I don't know, Mom. But then she goes over to the window and says, my name's Avani. What's yours?
The stranger will like smile and then like hold out her hand for you to shake through the window and be like, my name is, and then Avani, can you remember her name? Like now?
No.
Yeah, if you can't remember it, you can't remember it in the dream. And the sort of noise, it almost sounds like when she says her name, where there should be words, instead there's just the sound of like, kind of like leaves rustling, almost like to censor her name. And she says it like with a pleasant smile while she shakes her hand. And she's like, I hope I'm not disturbing your meal or anything. I'll, just thought you look quite familiar to me. That's all.
No, I think Mom's not done cooking yet. Do you want it?
Oh, no, I couldn't impose. I'm just, I'm passing through. It's been some time since I've been to the village, and, it's nice to see everything again.
Oh, you're from here? You're really pretty.
Oh, that's sweet of you. You're very pretty too, Avani. And, I've been here once or twice. But
I've never seen you before.
That's okay. Most people don't see me when I pass by. But, that's just something that I know how to do. And she, like, stands behind a barrel and actively, like, hides behind it. And to the point that, like, you should be able to see her, but, like, for some reason, she's quite good. She's quite good at, like, hiding. She's almost like she disappears behind the barrel. And then she'll, like, pop back up on the other side, and it's just like, see?
Avani will clap her hands. Mom, look, she's so good at hiding.
Your mom will, like, stop what she's doing cooking in the kitchen and sort of, like, manage the fire so it's not so big, and she'll turn around and be like, who's at the door? Who are you talking to? Should we step back from the door, Avani? We don't know. And she'll, like, look out to see, like, who the hell is my kid talking to through the window? And when she looks out and you look back out with her, the green-haired woman is gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's sort of like the lingering memory you have when you like look at this, like look through the pool. The last sort of like scene you see is like the breeze blowing by, and there's just like a single like green leaf like fallen from a tree that just gently lands on your hair. And your mom like combs it out and like hands it to you, and it's just like, I suppose the spring breeze is quite strong. We should maybe close the window to make sure you don't catch a cold, dear.
Okay. See, she's really good at hiding, right?
Yes. Tell me more about your friend later. Come, help me set the table.
Okay. So she'll go and do that.
Yep, and then that's when your like memory fades. But yeah. Nice job, everybody. Those are your flashbacks. A little bit more about your life. But now we're gonna zoom all the way back to the present in like a whiplash zoom forward moment. I believe the last thing you all did, as Charles mentioned, I almost called you Kevin, as Charles mentioned, was you all sort of went shopping in the flea market, picked up a bunch of like ding dongs and doodads, and you all decided to rest for the night because you haven't rested at all. What is it that you're planning on doing next? What's the plot, everybody?
So we long rested at the guest house in Ringtor Ruins Tower, right?
Yes, you've long rested.
Okay, wait, okay. Next day.
Well, immediately I am wondering about the canister. Is this something we can do later, or is it would I miss out if I?
Kevin, give me an investigation roll for the canister.
I lost my tab. Okay.
Also, like if we all went, do we like also roll God or no?
Oh, did you guys want to try to buy something at the market? I can do that real quick. Let me grab the table.
Just wondering. I'm just like, 'cause theoretically we all went, right?
Yes. Give me 1 second. Let me go find a table. Okay. Both of you first roll me a 1d. Roll me an investigation or perception, and then roll me a 1d100 afterwards.
Okay. Well, you canister or something. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
1d100.
1d100.
Okay.
Long rest.
Okay. Let's start with Sonmei. And then what's your 1d100? 39.
Okay. Long rest. Okay. Just check.
Oh, okay. So Sonmei, you are like strolling around, and you see there is there's like a cobbler, I think the word is. Yeah, cobbler. Someone selling shoes and like fixing shoes, essentially. This is separate from the shoe polisher that I described earlier. This guy is like putting on soles on stuff and like tying laces and like re-lacquering leather shoes. And they have a pair of shoes that catches your eye. The sort of bottom of these shoes, they're leather and kind of like half boots, like a Chelsea boot almost, if you know what that is.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
They kind of look like a Chelsea boot. The color, they're like a deep like burgundy color. But the interesting about them to you is that the soles of the shoes are like jagged. They're like basically like triangular spikes on the bottom of the shoes. And as you sort of like turn them over and give them a look, the jagged spikes, they start to like move, almost like in a rotary way. Like they're on a, how do I say this? Like they're like on a belt, like the tread of the shoe is on a belt that's rotating.
Yo? Is it possible to ask the guy like what these do?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
The cobbler looks up and they have what are they? Oh, I think this is fine. So they're a fairy. So they're like very small, but they're working on like normal, like medium creature sized shoes. This like blue fairy has these outsized goggles on that make their eyes look like big, like bulbous, like fish eyes, and they pop it off. And you can see underneath they have like this like dark black eyes, and they're licking you. They're like, yeah, hi, how can I help you?
Hey, I was just wondering about this pair of shoes. Why did they look like that? What did they do?
Oh, yeah. I made those. My master said that no one would want them, but you know, I think they're kind of cool. So you see the tread there. They're magically enchanted, so that I've put. Well, I'm not gonna take it apart because then, well, you break it, you buy it, and then I have to remake them. But like, essentially, the tread there is to make it easier to walk up staircases. I hate walking upstairs. It's awful. Do you know how many stairs there are in Autumn Home? Dog shit amount of stairs. Do you know how small I am?
Seriously?
A little person. Yeah, it's full of stairs. I hate it.
That sucks ass. I thought Autumn Home would just be like forests and stuff. So no, it's all stairs?
There's no trees in Autumn Home. It's all stairs, buddy. Have you ever been there? It's all stairs. There's nothing else. It's stairs for days.
Dude, that fucking sucks because I think we're gonna go there. Does this make like going upstairs like super fast or something like that?
Okay, it's not gonna make you faster at going upstairs, but it's like I think you can go up them the normal speed that you would instead of like, I don't know, slower. You know what I mean? So I guess it makes you a little bit faster, which is to say like equalizing your speed of going upstairs.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so these essentially he's telling you these shoes will make it so that stairs are not considered difficult terrain for the wearer if you're in like battle or something. Because usually they are.
Right. Ah, I see. And Autumn Home was all stairs.
Autumn Home is all stairs. If you look at the map, Autumn Home, it's all
big
stairs.
old place.
There's no trees. He's not lying. There's no trees. It's all stairs. It's all stairs.
Oh yeah. I'm me looking at the map, just like, oh buddy, Autumn Home, the place is indeed all stairs.
It's all stairs.
Wow.
It's all stairs.
It's all stairs. And like, you know what? They got people there that are, you know, they're in some wheelchairs. How do they get up the stairs? Fuck if I know. Takes a long ass time. So I'm working on it. I'm thinking maybe I'll make a chair version of this eventually. My little sister, every time we have to take her to Autumn Home, she has to go through the mobility routes, and they take forever because they got to hook her up to the side and then goes like slowly up the stairs, and it makes a clog. You know what I mean? Awful stuff.
That is so inconvenient. Hey,
Yeah,
I think you should make like a cushion. I think you should make like a cushion version of this. You know what I mean?
A cushion version? What do you mean? Explain.
Put this, and I point to that pointy pot, and put the pointy stuff on the bottom of like a cushion, so people can just sit on the cushion and go up the stairs that way. At least I think it's better. Sometimes you're just lazy to walk, right?
Ooh. Like a magic carpet, but it's not magic. It's science.
They can't copyright strike you because it's a cushion and not a carpet.
Oh, they're gonna try. I know the guy who invented the magic carpet. He's a dickhead. But okay, I'll keep that in mind. You're not gonna copy strike me if I invent it, right?
Nah, I'm not really inclined towards the magic stuff. Hey, by the way, you got a name card? I'm starting a bit of a collection.
Collection of what?
Name cards.
Oh. Yeah, sure. And he passes you his name card. Let me look up my NPC name list.
I do have a list of name cards that I've gotten so far. I have 2 name cards already, so I'm collecting a 3rd. Let's go.
Oh, nice. This is for your scrapbook. You see on the name card, he hands you it's not a card per se. It is like a scrap of bark, but like scratched into the bark, and you can read this because of your thing. This guy's name is oh, it's funny. His name is Horatio the Fairy. Horatio the Fairy. And he spells it like this. I'll put in the NPC address book. Horatio the Fairy. Shoe cobbler. Journeyman. Yeah, so it says that on his little scrap bark.
Oh, while I'm at it, I'm just curious. How much are the shoes going for actually?
He like looks at you and he squints. He's like, I don't know if you've like do you have money? I'm pretty sure you're from the material plane, right? Like you smell like you're from the material plane. Do you have money for this, or?
Depends what your definition of money is. I'm sure it's worth something.
He'll like flit up to you, and like sort of spin around and is like, do you got any, I'll trade it for some interesting materials from, the material plane. I can't get a lot of like really sturdy metal or anything here, because there's a monopoly on electroconductive metal that most of the it used to be in the court of winter, but those guys have clammed up since the war, and so we can't get any of the conductive stuff anymore. So if you have anything like metal conductive, I'll trade a good like a shoe size chunk of it for this.
Okay, well, shoe size chunk. I do have my old shield, which I'm not using anymore.
Are your shoes metal?
Shield, right? I think you.
Yeah.
Oh, shield. I thought you said shoe.
Nah. I have my old shield, which I'm not using anymore. So I could trade that in.
Yeah, I think it's he like grabs the shield and like knocks on it, and then like takes his finger and then like runs it through like the middle, and where he like runs his finger through the middle, you see there's just like a crackling of electricity like sparking off of it, and he's like, "Yep, that'll do. Shoes are all yours, bud. Thank you. Nice trading with you."
Yeah, thanks. By the way, do you know why there's been this ban on the material? That seems a little odd.
Nah, it's not odd. So like, aside from the like mines in Canary, the only place in the Feywild that really does any mining of sorts are the freaks down at Durchasm, and then the people in the Corn of Winter. And obviously, no one's trading with Durchasm. That's not happening. So normally people just get it from the mountains near the Court of Winter. But, the queen of the Sealy Court, she's like, we're closed, shut down. Because she doesn't want any part in the war. She doesn't want them encroaching further. So she's, trade's been kind of shit lately. And we haven't had access to a lot of stuff that comes from the Sealy Court. And so, yeah, that's sort of situation we're in now, including a lot of, like, electroconductive metals. And, like, for most people, that's maybe not an issue because, look around and like points around, like people there don't really, it's not really interest of people, so they don't give a shit. But, for inventors like me, I'm thinking maybe I'll just relocate to the material plane until this shit blows over. Who knows?
I'm gonna tell you, if you invent that carpet or any other variation of this, I think it might be quite popular. There are quite a number of stairs in the material plane too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need to climb stairs, as you can see, but I think you may I'll think about it. I'll think about it.
Sure. Yeah, okay. Great doing trade with you. Thanks.
Yep, nice trading with you too. Best of luck out there. Cool. Let's move on to Avani's item. Let's see, what did you get? You got a 20? And then you got 24.
24.
Let me see. Huh. Oh. Okay. So you are looking around trying to find, just trying to see if there's anything interesting in the Feywild, like Feywild market that you found yourself in, and you find not like someone selling trinkets or anything, but it seems like a drink stand, a place that is serving libations of all sorts. There's like a bunch of different wines, a bunch of different like meads, primarily a lot of like fruit and flower and honey based drinks, but they have a large cauldron that's sort of at the central focus point of this stall, and above the cauldron is what looks like an extremely convoluted distilling system that is mostly made out of acorns. And there is a squirrel sitting on top of like a stack of like barrels that's like distributing the drinks, and there's a bunch of other squirrels distributing the other drinks, and like people are lining up for this drink stall. And as you like come up to it, you can see that like the sign on like the big sort of cauldron in the middle is Nutterson's Nuttilicious Moonshine. I'll write that down so I don't forget it immediately after I say it. So many years are the shoes of stepping. And then the Nutterson, Nuttilicious Moonshine. And then I'll add the descriptions after. But yes, that seems to be what they're selling here.
Okay. I suppose it smells really good.
Oh, it smells awesome. It smells like roasted and nutty, almost like sesame oil. So it's a little savory even. But like it's definitely alcoholic as well.
Oh. Okay, so I get she will ask how I guess I or maybe she will observe like how are people paying?
The majority,
like she sees this people in line, right?
Yeah, the majority of the patrons in the line, of which mostly make up of like there's a couple of elves, there's fairies, there's like a dog on like two hind legs. A lot of them are like pulling out what looks like a like crystal slab from their pockets or from their pouches, and then like showing it to the squirrels, and then the squirrels will nod and then hand them like a bottle or like a shot, depending on like, you know, how much they ask for. There are a couple of people who come up, and they don't have the crystal slab, but they're instead giving them like a handful of acorns, or in one particular case, one of them hands them a live seagull, and the squirrels like look at it and they sort of circle it a little bit, and then they nod, and then they take the seagull behind the counter, and you can no longer hear it, but they receive like almost like a half gallon of moonshine in return. And so people are trading a indiscriminate amount of stuff that you're not sure what the ratio of payment really is here. To Avani, it's a little nonsensical, this economy, which may just be how it is here.
Okay, so I guess she will go and ask. I mean, it's her turn. It's like, how much a glass or a shot, I guess.
The squirrel will look up at you. It has like a little clipboard in its hand, made of twigs and leaves, and will be like, so you wanted a, is it for consumption or for, industrial purposes?
Industrial purposes?
Okay, if you'd like to make an industrial purposes purchase.
She's asking, she's, what do you mean? She says, yes, industrial purposes? What kind of industrial purposes can you use it for?
Oh, are you aware of what you're in line for? And then she'll like turn around and she'll like point at the sign. This is you've made it to the Nutterson Nuttilicious Moonshine stall, and we sell Nutterson Nuttilicious Moonshine to be used for personal and or industrial purposes. And so, again, I'll ask personal or industrial.
I mean, my understanding is drinking, so personal, I guess.
Okay. And then she'll like look you up and down, and she'll be like, "Excuse me, while we take measurements." And another squirrel will come up and like gesture for you to hold out your hand.
Okay, Vani will do that.
They'll like hold your one finger in both of their paws and be like, do we have permission to obtain a sample for testing purposes to evaluate your proper dosage?
Sure. What does it do? Anyway.
When you say sure, the squirrel bites down on your finger, and like it breaks your rock hard skin pretty easily. It doesn't hurt. You don't take any damage, but you definitely know it's pierced your skin. And like a little bit of blood like comes out. What color is Avani's blood? I'm gonna say it's gold. Like a little bit of like gold beads out. And the squirrel like drinks it up. And then sort of like smacks its lips. It says, okay. And then like runs up to the head squirrel, presumably the head squirrel in the barrel, and like whispers into its ear. And you see the squirrel with the clipboard, like its eyes like start to widen. And then she nods and she's like, oh, fascinating. And then she turns to you and she's like, okay, well, this is new to us, but we should be able to give you a proper dosage. How will you be paying?
Well, that's what I was just asking. What are your payment terms? What is the rate? And when you say dosage, what is it indication?
Well, we only make the most potent of moonshine here at Nutty, Nutterson, Nuttilicious Moonshine, and so we must be careful about the dosage that we administer. As you can see, there are a variety of creatures beings who desire to drink our Nutty, Nutterson, Nuttilicious Moonshine, and different bodies can take only so much of it in terms of dosage and concentration, and so it's best if we can assess properly how much you are able to take.
Okay. And what kind of payment terms do you take for your prescribed dosage?
Yes, so for you and for most people, we should be able to take, we accept Fey Pay if you are the owner of a crystal that is available to that. And then she like gives you a look, and then she like goes, I'm not sure if that is a currency that you are able to avail yourself to. We will also take the equivalent in... We'll take magic items, I guess. We can use that for the... And then she like looks to her companion, and then the other companion holds out another clipboard, flips up a page, looks at her, gives a nod, and she's like, yes, we'll take magic items in terms of equivalent potency for your dosage.
She'll show them her corsage and be like maybe something like this.
The squirrel will like sniff it and then like rub the like petals of the corsage and goes, this should be adequate for an industrial dose if you'd like.
Okay.
Are you amenable to the exchange of goods and services?
Sure, so she will remove the corsage and hand it over.
Okay, they will, it'll take 3 squirrels to hold onto it, because it's quite pointy and they're trying not to like stab themselves a bit on it, but they like scurry behind the counter, and eventually the 3 squirrels come out and they hand you what looks like, how do I describe this? It's like a personal keg size. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, here, I have a picture for scale. They hand you this. They hand you this. It's got the spout. So they hand you that, and the label says Nutty, Nutterson, Nuttilicious Moonshine, and then asterisk industrial use only on it. And then they're like, here is your receipt, as well as your guarantee of industrial use and no personal usage. We thank you for your patronage, and please enjoy your personal cake of Nutty Nutterson's and Nuttilicious Moonshine. And she hands you a leaf.
Is there any? I was just gonna say, is there any other information on this slip?
No. Yeah, the slip has no words that you can read. To you, it looks like a leaf. The squirrel handed you a little maple leaf.
She'll be like, okay, thank you. Is there anything I should know about before consuming it?
She gives you like a boggled look. She's like, this is for industrial use only. You are not meant to and consume this.
Okay. And what are the indicated industrial uses?
The squirrel like shrugs and says, generally warfare, but I'm sure you can make best with what there is an extremely flexible product. You are able to use it for any sort of industrial use cases. Some people have used it for construction, but generally warfare is the best. Espionage is also an option, but maybe less. There are better options than that. But yes, generally yes, you can use it for any applications you'd like. Be creative with it.
Interesting.
Next,
Thank
please. You. Yep. And she'll the squirrels will usher you along with a personal keg now.
Okay. Yeah, I guess she will wander back to the party with personal keg. A very nutty smelling moonshine.
Yep. Yeah, it smells like sesame oil, but also a little funky and also definitely alcoholic.
Okay.
You bring it back to the party. You guys see, I guess you guys will reconvene in your quote unquote hotel room, ? Your hostel, whatever you find you're in. And you all have your variety of items. Sunmei comes back with new shoes.
Yeah.
And Avani comes back with a keg.
I think when we get back to the room, Avani will pour out a shot and be like, all right, well, they did say it's moonshine, so I suppose it is drinkable, but they also said there are industrial uses.
That's just crude oil. Go, Avani.
Well, actually, you know what? Avani will indeed take a sip. I was like, I guess here.
Are
You guys
you?
want to try it? But
Are you the only one trying it, Avani, or are other people trying it?
well, she'll take a sip and then she'll put it on the table if anybody else wants.
Okay. Go ahead and make me. You take a sip.
Signs.
Please make me a con save.
For sign, since you say moonshine, right?
Please make me a con save.
And then you get
For
that's a long rest.
signs.
For science. Cheers, everybody. Nice day out with the play.
Con
Come back and poison us.
save.
This is our
Con save? Con
Yep.
save, right?
Con save, please.
Okay.
No, Avani. You have to live.
Oh, chug.
Oh, girl.
What?
So
Avani's long rest.
you're all in the hotel room, or you're all in a shared in space, right?
Yeah.
And you're all chattering. Avani's got her keg out, and she's just like, "Yeah, I got a keg," and then pours herself with the little spout a shot of those delicious, nutty smelling moonshine. Knocks back a shot. And
I took a sip.
The sip is enough. Takes a sip.
Signs.
The minute the thing goes down your gullet and you drink it, Avani's eyes roll into the back of her head and she knocks out, cold blackout, rock on the rock behind. I'm seeing the chair
Right.
falling backwards, and there's a loud thunk as Avani's rock body smacks into the floorboards. Avani is unconscious. She is knocked clean out.
Okay.
Oh shit.
Oh.
Avani just tried to kill us with that juice? What the hell was all
She's
that about?
still breathing.
She's still
Okay,
breathing.
she's
She's
still
still breathing.
Oh.
She's just
Do
asleep, not unconscious.
Does the leaf fall out of her pockets or anything like that? Do we
Oh,
get
it's on top. It's on top of the keg. She never put it in the pocket.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
I guess here goes nothing. Take a sip.
And then you pass out.
It smells really good, and then she passes out.
Yep.
Can somebody wander over to the keg, just what the fuck is this, and spy the maple leaf?
Yeah. So
Delicious.
the maple leaf, when you read it, Sunmei, it's essentially a receipt, right?
Oh yeah.
It says a purchase of one appropriately dosed industrial grade Nutterson's Nuttilicious Moonshine. And then the bottom has Avani's name on it, like scrawled in like a language that you can read but don't know.
Okay.
Like what is it, like build invoiced to, and then it has Avani's name, and then on the bottom there is like sort of a fine print that says for industrial use only, CC individual responsible for individuals own allotment of moonshine.
Okay.
It's like a liability clause.
Yeah. I'll let everybody know that you're not supposed to drink it. This is for industrial use.
Oh.
I look at Avani, I'm just like, well, I guess that's why.
You would, yeah, but then, other than it knocking.
I think you cut out a bit. I heard other than it knocking you out, and then nothing else.
I said other than it knocking us out, we don't know what it does. We still do not know.
You still do not know. Nope. All
I
it
guess
does
we'll
is
find
knock you
out.
out.
Yeah. Well, that's Avani's long rest, I suppose. Put the maple leaf back.
Yeah. Any of you trying the moonshine? Anyone else?
Not after Avani.
No. The night is still young, brother.
Somebody, we can cast identify.
You didn't?
Yeah, we can. We can now. Now that Avani passed out.
It's like,
can we cast identify while she's asleep?
yeah.
Yep.
No, we're on
Okay,
drag
Kevin?
Avani's unconscious body to a cot or like a sleeping.
Like a
so
bed.
that
Like,
she
let's
doesn't
put
fall
Avani
on
in the
the
mattress.
Yeah. Just drag her over.
You drag her to the bed.
LMAO.
Okay. I suppose Kevin is casting identify on this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, yep. You can identify this. It gives you the name as Nutty Nutterson's Nuttilicious Moonshine parentheses industrial grade. This bottle or keg or appropriately dosed receptacle contains a shimmering liquid that distorts its own light that does not seem to be physically possible. The Fae enjoy it as a fine brandy, but to anyone else, especially those of the material plane, it is liquid chaos incarnate. A DC 20 con save, +5 per subsequent shot taken, is needed or instantly black out to the chaos, and causes internal madness to the affected person. Anyone who imbibes this and is not of the Fae plane, for the next 24 hours or until their next long rest, has their stats switched at random. So I will be
Amazing.
swapping your stats the next time you wake up for the next day. We're gonna roll to
no.
see what becomes what.
Oh, damn.
That's hilarious.
Yep. And then parentheses industrial uses include warfare, sabotage, construction glue, rations? Only for Fae. Close rations, poison, subterfuge, and then the list kind of goes on, and it just kind of sounds like war crimes.
Oh my god. This is funny. Okay.
Yeah, but technically, Yulili can drink this, no problem.
Yeah, because Fae, right? Like,
Yep.
if you're from the Fae plane, you should be fine. Interesting.
Interesting.
Wow. So even though Same is technically Fae, it would affect.
Yeah, because Selma's from the
You are-
material plane.
Yep.
So elves from the material plane are like...
Are
you know,
not Fae
still not
elves.
yeah, are not Fae.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. So it would be, so when we get back to the material plane, it would be a great thing to be able to get
Oh yeah,
imbibe.
this shit is crazy in the material plane, but in the Feywild, it's a nice nutty smelling brandy.
Yeah, and the Feywild is just juice, but like, and the material plane just shit contraband, you know?
That's why they sell
the
it
sip is
at
delicious.
the. That's why they sell it at the fucking flea market.
But the sip was delicious.
It was it was incredibly tasty, Amani. It was nice. It was nutty. It like went down incredibly smooth. Like 1010 would do it again if it didn't immediately knock you out.
I was gonna say her girlfriend would have said, do it anyway.
Yeah. Do it for her. Okay. Anything else you guys want to do before you wake up in the morning?
Yes. Oberon? As typical. Would like to pray because he wants to chat with the shutter, basically to see status update, but also like I don't know, like any information on like what to do next. But also other half, he wants to he's curious if he's curious basically if the connection to the arcana feels the same as it does whenever he prays in the material world. That's okay.
Can you give me the text for pray first?
Okay.
I'm gonna double check something. I think I know the answer, but double check what I...
Would it be inspiring piety? I can give you that.
Yeah, give me inspiring piety. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. You are attempting to pray, and you go through the same motions of like reaching out. When you do it in the material plane, when you try to pray at home or anywhere that's not in the Feywild, you've never tried to pray outside of the material plane, you're sort of able to, like we've mentioned, it's kind of like making a phone call. You're reaching out and you have sort of strings to pull, like almost like you're trying to pull a bell to like ring a bell for someone to answer. When you reach out with your prayer, sort of like fists grasping for anyone whose like rope is down for you to pull, there's nothing. There is no sense that you can like pray in this manner here. And give me a what is this? I suppose this could be wisdom. It could also be intelligence roll.
What? Like,
yeah, just flat wisdom or intelligence.
Oh shit.
Dog, you don't know. I think
no.
with a nat 1, you are struggling, and I think this makes sense to Oberon. You are struggling to oh, that's Eulalie? Oh, Eulalie knows. Girl, you know. You don't know why you know or what you know, but you know. You don't even know what Oberon's doing. What was your whiz check for Eulalie? Wait, that's confused me. Why are you rolling? What do you have to do with Obi's prayer? For fun.
It's not even the correct check.
Lily's like circling my head as I'm trying to pray. No?
Yeah, I think maybe what happened was that Yuli saw that Obi was praying and was just like, what is this idiot doing? And then immediately sees like the Oberon, what is your reaction to not having anything to reach out to?
I think he's a little startled. Because normally, like you said, I feel like at least in the coil, the higher of the more chances, like higher religion you have, like the easier it is to kind of like get that like immaterial feeling, almost like when you know how to whistle versus when you don't, like that specific like feeling.
Yep.
So the fact that he reaches out and like normally, he can like feel something, like he knows like conceptually like immaterially how it feels, but right now it feels almost like, I guess, a void.
Yep.
And so he's never felt this before, I think, even in the Shutter's like realm where it feels like access to other gods have been cut off, like there's still that one string for the Shutter, right? So it's a little disconcerting. So he kind of like startles a little bit and sees like Eulalie flying around his head, maybe.
Yeah, Eulalie, you see like Oberon getting into prayer position as you've seen him do before. It's his like favorite thing to do every morning. And you see the like the like jump scare face, like shock little bit on his face. And I think Eulalie, with your like flitting around him, you're able to realize like what he's doing and what he's pulling. Oberon, you with your like nat 1 int check, I think this makes sense because I don't think Oberon can fathom a place that does not have a connection to the gods. Like you Oberon cannot be in the same, you cannot be existing when like the gods are not available to you, and that feels strange to you, that feels alien to you, and you're not sure how this is the case, because like surely they have a reach and everything, right? But that's not, that seemingly is what is not, that maybe you're just like, it's a little bit of a denial moment for you, I think.
I think it's that, but Eulalie is like flitting around me. Can I see, I don't know, some could I see something in her expression or mannerism where it's like feels almost like I don't know, like of course it's not gonna work kind of expression at all? Or is Eulalie gonna say anything to me?
I don't know,
You can always say something.
Eulalie, what do? You do notice that Oberon is like sort of shocked by the fact that he can't pray. Are you gonna say anything to him? Nah. Okay.
No? Okay.
Yeah, she
Nah.
said nah. Girl said nah. Okay.
Can I call? I'm like, wait, I can talk to Eulalie, right?
Yeah.
Like, Eulalie, wait, come back. I'm like, so the Arcana don't have access to the Fate Plane at all?
She looks at Oberon. She's like, I don't know.
I have a question for Eulalie. Eulalie, do you know what the Arcana are?
I guess she would have read it in a book.
Okay. Just
Oh
checking.
no.
Just checking.
Yeah. She looks at Oberon like with this smug face, like that's emoji. She's
Oh,
like,
no.
oh, I don't know.
Okay. But it looks like clearly she knows, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Oberon's like, pulls a face and is like, okay.
Okay. Anything for the rest of you?
Wasn't Kevin trying to figure out what's in the canister?
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I rolled 16.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you're trying to inspect the canister. It is sealed on both ends, and as you like attempt to unscrew it, it seems like it's stuck.
Can I try to force it? Or like, would I know like if this is something I can like physically open, or is this like something magical? Making it refrain.
I think inherently you know that it is magical, and if it's not opening now, you need something to happen for it to open. Like there's a part that you're missing, a sort of like a key, if you will, to open the canister.
Okay. Knowing that, then Kevin will just like pocket it and just say goodnight. Pass out.
Okay,
Excuse me.
bless you.
Bless you.
Sorry.
So you guys all go to bed, and you wake up in the morning. You ready for the day? What is it? What is the plan, gang? What are you trying to do? You're in the Feywild. You're in some dinky ass town on an island somewhere. What are you thinking about? What do you want to do?
Wait,
Right.
I thought that Eulalie's phone is like. Wait, I thought that Eulalie's thing was like shining to where it was to go or something.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Well,
We also have a map with what looks like a GPS positioning of us on the map too. So
Mm-hmm.
all right.
Yeah.
Same maps.
Oberon. Oh, by the way, Oberon's map has basically live updates, I suppose, of the incursion of the hags. So in the owlbear, I guess like it's like kind of this like dark area that kind of is like starting where like the whole like southeast area is, and like kind of like pushing up north and getting dangerously close to the last tree of Summer Court, and also kind of slightly moving to the west as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Oberon, make me a what do you call it? Make me a perception check when you're looking at the map.
10.
Yeah, you see the like movement of all the bits and bobs that are happening in the map. The like sort of tide and ebb and flow of the sort of dark gray area seems to be, even with a 10 to your understanding, you feel like it's expanded just a little bit since you last looked at it.
Oh.
It hasn't hit like the Pella bloom fields, right? Or has it?
It's encroaching on the sort of southern edges of it.
Okay. Well, I guess we should probably follow Yuli's ring, but now we also have a map as a backup too.
That's true.
Yep, Yuli's ring is essentially pointing you this way.
Yeah, up the Canary Hymn area.
Mhm.
Okay. I guess we should go to the edge of the shores and see if we can catch some sort of boat ride over to the big main chunk of land over here.
Yeah, we should get to the mainland.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
Sorry, is it written on the map where the grayish area is? Sorry, I think I see it.
So if you look at the ground of like the map, the like little bodies of like land and stuff, you can see like here it's sort of more gray than green. Here it's more gray. It's the literal visual parts of the map that are gray that indicate the spread of the war.
Okay, cool.
Yep. And yeah, so you guys head out, start to walk towards that area. Go ahead and give me a whoever wants to do the nav. Actually, I think it should be Yuli to do it because this is like strange territories. Yuli, give me a survival check. People can assist if they'd like to help navigate your way to the coast. Because you have the map.
Okay. Okay.
You hold up the map. Vani reads the ground. We're
Yeah, you have advantage, so you can roll again. Hey, that's not bad. Yeah.
Yay!
I think at first Yuli starts walking. She's walking back south to the portal. And like I'm imagining Avani just sort of gently like rotates Yuli so they're facing the right direction. It's just like that way. And she's like, oh yeah, that's what I meant to do. And just start walking that way. Well, flying that way. And you all follow. You eventually leave the town/ruin of Rinkatorg's ruins behind you, and you make your way deeper into the forest. The island itself, the sort of topography and what like the landscape looks like, wherever you go within the forest, there always seems to be ruins. The ruins like don't end per se. Maybe there will be sort of like sparse spots where it's mostly like trees and grass and shrubs. But I think during your walk to the coast, there's no part of it that you can't spot something made of stone, something made like a structure that has been sort of left to dilapidate or like left to sort of like crumble over time.
I'm curious, are the ruins of a similar like architectural structure, style, and material, or do they feel like they might be like wildly different, like building styles and structures?
Give me a history check.
11.
Yeah, I think some of it to you may seem like, a mismatch. It could also be that like they were built by different people, but by the same civilization. You're not entirely sure. I think some part of it is that the way that the architecture is just so foreign to you that you can't really tell one way or another if it's of the same civilization or same make.
Okay.
Alrighty. You all make your way through the forest and you start walking. It takes a couple of hours. You see sometimes every now and again there's a traveler that like walks past you in the other direction, but for the most part you don't seem to see any like settlements or any sense of like permanent like housing or smaller villages on the way. There truly was just that one big tower and a bunch of other ruins. But you guys make your way to the coast. I think at this point it's like starting to be dusk. It's not entirely sunset, but it's sort of in the like afternoon hours. And you start to hear like the waves of the shore before you see them. And there is like a very small like cluster of buildings around a like wooden port. And there seems to be like a few like tented caravans like stopped at one of the buildings near the pier.
Near the pier. All right. I suppose we should go to the pier and see if there's any boats open for services.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a perception check, anyone who wants to like look around as you start to approach this like small cluster of buildings.
Perception.
19.
19, 15, 20, 21. Okay. Yeah, I think all of you who like rolled above like a 15 can see there's one big boat and like a few like dinghies, right? But the dinghies don't seem like they're able to cross any sort of channel. Mostly they look like fishing boats, but there is one large vessel whose like light blue sails are like rolled up. All of you notice, I think particularly Sonmei, you notice that there is a like group of people standing around the caravan talking to a centaur that is like has like a hat on, like a captain's hat on and like a coat. And the people that are standing around next to them, they're sort of humanoid in size, but they have like this sort of blue, almost like glassy like skin. Some of them are like sort of purplish, some of them are kind of green. They have some like pretty unique features to them that kind of remind you of fish. These kind of look like fish people. Mermaids? Triton? You're not exactly sure. I don't think you've met very many in your life, but they kind of look like fish people, and they're standing there and they seem to be talking to this centaur. There is what looks like a larger central figure, sort of heavy set, wide, not wearing a shirt, but is wearing like a bolero jacket that's open, so his chest is bared. He's sort of like reddish, with like reddish scales and like white underbelly, has like a like blue belt on and like kind of like very well adorned. He also has a popped collar for some reason. Again, no shirt. And seems to be negotiating with this captain. Next to them is a like a hooded figure, but seems to be like much shorter, a bit like more feminine in figure, and they like seem to be like looking to the sea and then like looking back to the conversation between this larger heavyset fish person and then looking to the sea again, and then sort of surrounding them are a bunch of it looks to be like guards of some sort, so that because they seem like sort of armed in a way that like no one you've seen on the island has been before. They have like the makings of a retinue, so they have like armor and they have some spears, some crossbows, that sort of thing on them, but they seem to be milling about the cart and especially around this like hooded person and the larger set figure.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll need to speak to the captain, and I think like someone will point out to everybody that, well, it seems like that's our guy over there. I think we should ask him about whether there's board available. Don't know very much about all the other people though.
All right. Does it seem like the heavyset fish figure wearing the jacket is almost done talking, or are they still deep in the middle of negotiation?
They seem to be negotiating something, and the captain like is like has their arm. The centaur captain has their arms folded, and he's like shaking his head. He's just like, nah, I don't feel like it's right now. After last night's incursion, it doesn't seem like it's the best time to push off. And you guys, I think, are close enough now that you can start to hear the larger, like, heavyset fish person go. And when they speak, it almost sounds like it's through like an echo. I can't make the voice myself, but it's almost like bubbling up when they start to speak. And they said like, I don't think you know what you're saying to me at the moment. We came here for the play, and now we need to go back to the kingdom. It is an utmost importance that we get the oracle across. Yes, the spread has made the trip a little more cumbersome, but we require passage nonetheless. Surely you have men to spare on this journey. Mine are not enough. And the centaur just sort of shakes his head. It's just like, all of the men that I've usually got for protection on the boat, they're out at sea at the moment. You know what it's like. Silky Bay requires more and more, refugee pickup to Rinkator ruins, to put it lightly. You're gonna have to wait at least a fortnight before they come back. And the Triton fish person, their jowls start to shake, almost in rage. They said, a fortnight simply will not do. The oracle needs to be at the court post-haste. We cannot do without. Surely the vessel is small enough and insignificant enough that they will not be able to spot it as we cross the bay. And this sort of argument continues on in front of you.
Wait, so the centaur is the captain, and like the fish people are the Triton fish people. Something are the ones that want to cross on ship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like they're escorting a oracle of some sort.
Oracle.
I turn over and like, should we offer our services as adventurers to
Yeah,
possibly get passage across this strait?
I think so, because otherwise we'd also be stuck waiting like 2
A
weeks,
fortnight.
which is
Yeah.
not really ideal either way, right? So let's go. I think we should speak to them.
All right. Then yes, we will move forward and interject ourselves into this conversation.
Like, hey,
Yeah, I guess the people who know anything about should do the talking.
All right. Well, whatever. Oberon's
Just
like,
saying, right?
wait, hold on. Avani's the one. Wait, no, don't you have great? Maybe you don't. Actually, maybe you
What?
don't.
Oh,
Wait, what?
actually, in the morning, we should do this before anything happens. Let me look at
Yeah.
your sheet.
yeah,
Let me look at your sheet, girl. Let me see.
No, wait, I don't think Avani knows how to
Avani's
sail
mega
a boat
curvy.
anyway.
Yeah.
They don't need anybody to sail the boat. They need people
They need
specifically
protection.
to guard the boat.
'Cause
To
they're
fight.
scared. They're scared of like hags, but sea hags. You know,
There's
Interesting.
sea
Sea
hags.
hags?
they probably are. 'Cause we meant like fate hags and bog hags and just hags, right? So I bet there's like water hags.
Okay,
Guys.
I turn to Yuli and I ask, are there sea hags?
Like hags for every element.
Yuli, no?
I don't know. Bonnie, is there?
Yuli, make me a. God, this is gonna be an incredibly low DC. Make me a history check or a nature check, please.
Vani is looking at Sonmir like, have you like spent too much time listening to like marketing stuff in like me?
I mean, if there's like people all over the material plane of like different, colors and sizes and stuff, like who's to say that hags don't have that kind of like elemental diversity, right?
Even
You know what I
within
mean?
11,
Yeah.
even within 11, Yuli, you know they're sea hags. They more than other hags really like to coven up, and you will never find a sea hag alone. They always move in at least groups of 3, and they like to haunt primarily the like marshes of the hag territory, but they are known to like just live in the sort of like coasts, and they their favorite activity is actually mostly to pretend to be sirens, because when a siren drags you down to eat you, it's sort of just like, oh well, you kind of deserved it. When a hag does it, it feels worse, and they make sure you know it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what she tells Oberon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
Hags doing the butterfly stroke. That sounds gross.
Oh yeah, the way they swim, nasty, awful.
Oh, you!
They undulate. It's not. They don't like
Ew.
flap their
Ew.
arms. Nah, it's a lot of leg action. Awful.
Damn.
But you said that they also
Hold
love to
on.
pretend to be sirens, so I suppose illusions until they get you and then track you down.
Maybe. Like,
I don't know.
So you don't. Well, does Yuli? I'm like, Yuli, tell us more about these DX.
hag fire?
Yuli has told you all she knows with her 11,
Alright.
which is that they
Oh.
exist.
Can you only Google it?
Yeah, can Yuli?
I'll let you do
Oh
that,
my god.
but with you can re-roll it. You can roll your history one more time if you'd like.
Oh,
Oh my god.
Yeah. You're like trying to look on your Faye iPhone and see like what do I know? What is about hags? And like it's not really Google, right? I think more than anything you get like the news. And overnight apparently there's been movements of the hag contingency, and they've moved further west. People have said that they've breached the sort of inlets that are starting to like get to the Bear Coast. That there's been spottings of them off the coast of Springbrook Glen, and that the hags are starting to take over the western waters.
That sounds bad.
Mhm.
The hags.
The hags.
The hags.
Dude. The
Or
worst.
well, research never stops for anyone, I suppose. Okay. I think we're waiting for Avani's reorganize.
Oh,
stats,
yep.
right?
Let's
And
do
then-
your reorganizing. Okay, so let's start with the first stat. Roll me a 1d5.
A 1d5?
I think you can do it manually with the thing. 1d5. Is that how that works? There you go. Yep. So just do exclamation point and then R and then space 1d5 into the Discord.
Okay.
2. Okay, so your
Oh.
so your
It is
strength
something.
and your dexterity stats will swap.
That's hysterical. Okay.
Okay. So remember that. And then now roll me 1d3.
1d3. Wait, what am I doing? Okay, what are 1d3? Okay.
Okay, your constitution and your charisma stats will swap.
Okay. Okay, wait, let me just write that down.
Yeah, maybe don't put it on your permanent sheet, but like just remember that they've swapped.
Yeah, because this is gonna get really confusing. Really,
it's gonna get really confusing. Yep.
Okay, so you say strength and dex.
Yeah,
swap,
so
right?
I'll give you the list. So
20.
strength and dex swap, con and charisma swap, and then subsequently int and wisdom swap.
Ooh.
So these two are these three sets are the swaps.
Okay.
Okay, that's your new stat block for the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or until your next long rest.
All right.
Okay. Well, actually, that's not awful, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying most of your stats are pretty good anyway. So this is the least worst person this could have happened to. I think.
Also true.
It could have been a lot worse. I think.
Okay.
All right.
Hilarious. Okay.
What are you guys doing?
We're butting into somebody's conversation. Hey, excuse me. I've got a question. Mind if I ask, is your only concern about not taking off from this pier the possibility of being attacked? We've also got urgent business on the mainland, and, well, if it helps, we're willing to offer some of our services with keeping any threats at bay, just during the duration of the trip.
The two of them like look at you, and like the hooded figure also like turns towards you when you say that. And the dude with the big, the heavy set, sort of fish person, sort of looks you up and down and says like, and who might you be? Do you have any qualifications for protection or the battle prowess? It's sort of paramount that we get across, yes, but not with sort of half-baked measures of strangers offering to fight for it. So, sorry, who are you? What is your name?
I'm a traveler from the material plane, if you must know. But do you honestly have any other better options? We've also got urgent business, you see, and we'd rather not spend the morning sort of wasting our time over here.
Make me a persuasion roll.
Okay.
He like looks at you and like looks at the captain, and the captain shrugs, just like, it's on you, bud. Like, I'll lend you the boat, but yeah, I have no men to give you for the protection part of it. And the sort of like wide set mer person sort of like shudders in their jowls and says like, surely you can't expecting me to just take anybody on the, they might be the material plane. What do they know of the... And then the hooded figure next to them just sort of like tugs at one of their like many like embellished belts and like trinkets, almost to like tug them down, and the Triton like turns to the hooded figure and like leans closer, and the hooded figure just sort of whispers in his ear, and you can see like the expression on his face goes from like a little bit offended to like kind of frustrated to okay, yeah, if you say that that's the case, then fine. Sort of like accepting. He'll turn to you and sort of go, well, I hope you won't be expecting any sort of payment for this. We've already rented the boat and consider your services and protection your payment for using it as we are on it. Does that sound amenable?
I'm fine with that.
And
I'm fine with that. Anyway, we'd be literally on the same boat. We, our goals align. We need to get back to the mainland. So yeah, I'm chill.
Bunny will nod from behind you.
We will be sailing into the Bay of Springbloom Glen. Is that amenable to you? Doesn't really matter if you say yes or no, because that's where we're going. So, just
That's
to let you
fantastic,
know.
honestly.
Great.
But, I mean, you and I are both aware of, how bad things have gotten with the hags recently, right? So I think we're all expecting a bit of rough and tumble. So yeah.
Yes, quite. Well, before you all, and sort of like gives the rest of your group a kind of like, peasants look to it. Before you all board, you must be aware, do not speak to the Oracle unless you are bidden to. That is the primary rule of boarding the ship. The second rule is that you must protect her at all costs, or we and the rest of the Unseelie court are doomed to be fodder underneath the Hags' heel. Is that clear to your lot?
Bristol.
Should we ask context why the Oracle is so important, sir? Besides the fact that she's an Oracle.
These are war plans that I am not privy to share with just any old material plane walker. You might be working for the Hags. And then the, Oracle, tugs him down and doesn't even say anything, and you can just see he looks at the Oracle's face, and then just sort of... Right, well... She's just know that she's very important to the war and central in understanding the Hags' plans, right? And so she is quite the target for them, hence we need the extra manpower to sort of escort her across the bay to Springbloom Glen. Is that enough of an explanation?
Well, I'm sure if they take one of us, they...
I think you cut off at, I'm sure if they take one of us.
I said if they take one of us, they'll take all of us. So I'm pretty sure we're on the same page here.
Well, yes. If they are to take the Oracle, then damn the war and damn your lives, because they'll probably just eat you for the troubles. But yes, more or less.
And you too, I suppose. Who's driving the boat, by the way?
The centaur is just like, well, if there's enough on the boat, then I suppose I will. Yeah, if you're willing to be the security detail, you will look more or less capable. He says with a question mark in it. I can.
It's like I know my fair way around the boat. I can lend a hand if you need it extra.
Yeah, we've got people who are proficient in boat. I think
You know how to sail.
I do.
Who else?
Me checking my tool proficiency. Yeah, vehicles water.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's two of you with water vehicle proficiency in the party.
And even if I get thrown into the water, I can still breathe in it, so we should be good.
Yep. Okay. So he shrugs and just like, well, that's good. At least people here, you two know how to pull sails, right? That's mostly what I need you for.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Okay. Yeah, we can load up the boat. Sir, if you need any, and he's like, I've got it. Men, let's move out in the name of the Oracle. And then she sort of tugs him, shakes her head, and he's like, says it in a more normal voice and not yelling. All right, let's move out in the name of the Oracle. And then he starts to walk up the bridge into the boat. And I'll just post a picture of this guy here. He will eventually introduce his name to you. His name is this. Let's see. Okay. That's this guy. That's him. His name's Madrid Glassgrim. He's the Oracle. His name's Madrid.
Like
the city in Spain.
Madrid.
I asked him some inappropriate questions about his family.
What?
Oh my god.
What are you gonna ask him?
Do you have siblings? What are their names?
Well, I'm assuming you're doing this after the boat's pushed off and you guys are
probably.
like
It's just like
sailing in.
it's just small talk, and I guess like some is just bored. Because how long is the trip gonna be? Actually, this is a serious question.
So once you get on the boat, they'll like go over the logistics. Like the trip itself will probably take like a day and a half. Usually it takes 3 days, but they're kind of going like there's a reason it's pushing off in the afternoon, is so that they can make the majority of the trip at night. Night is when hags flourish, yes, but it's also when it's like the sneakiest time, so that it's not obvious that they're crossing. So you guys will get there in essentially like a day and a half instead of 3 days, because they're going like full tilt. So essentially it'll be like a whole day cycle. You should arrive to Springboom Glen around like dawn of the day after. Yes.
Okay. Noted.
Yep.
Avani will basically explore like the entire boat, front deck, whatever, in terms of like defensibility.
Yeah, I guess if there's anything of note with regards to the ship itself.
So the boat is not like a massive like cruise ship, right? I think it's like maybe galleon sized, or a little smaller. It's definitely enough to fit like the carriage, and enough to fit. They have more of those like the carriages are drawn by seahorses, so they have more of those like fairy winged seahorses. They're not regular horses, but it's definitely enough to fit maybe like 4 of those horses that are pulling like sort of the covered wagons with them. There's 2 stories to the boat. There's the top deck where like all the sails are, and like where the captain's like wheel is for like, you know, steering the boat, and like you can see over the side, you know, the more like, you know, top of the deck. The level underneath is sort of split in 2, with like 3/4 of the space being the sleeping quarters, and like the living quarters and the eating quarters, and then the like last 1/4 of the space being storage, animal storage, that sort of stuff. There are some this is not a warship by any means. Seems like it's a either exploration ship, so it's meant for speed, or it's sort of like a like more of a pleasure cruise than anything. It's like very it's very decorated. Like painted in like a sort of like reddish and purple regalia with like a bunch of white. So it's like nicely decorated. This seems like in normal circumstance would just be sort of a nice ferry in between Rinkatorg and Springbloom, but at this moment it is like filled with soldiers and you guys, adventurers. So there isn't any like portholes for cannons or anything like that on the boat. It's definitely kind of feels like a commercial boat.
I see.
Okay.
I see. Just to clarify, they have a retinue that's armed, right? But from the conversation, it seemed like the retinue didn't have any actual like they're essentially like not, quote unquote, like not going to join us in securing the ship. Is that because their primary objective is to protect the Oracle, or?
Yes. So they have a retinue. It's not that big. It's maybe like 5 or 6 people. And their primary goal is to kind of be meat shields for the Oracle, to surround the Oracle if anything bad. They're secret service for the Oracle, essentially, right? And so the reason why they were arguing with the Centaur captain was that like they need people to guard the ship, because Madrid's priority here is if the ship is going to be attacked, and at this point you're all quite sure it's quite likely it will be, he's going to need to prioritize keeping the Oracle safe and not the boat, and someone's going to need to like fend them off while they sort of like huddle up and like dome the Oracle in like safety. So that's where you guys come in.
I see. Okay, makes sense. Are we allowed to ask if the Oracle has any means of defending themselves in case, you know, the worst comes to pass and all the guards, you know, go down or something? Like, hopefully that's not going to happen, but does she have any means of self-defense?
Do you ask her that?
I'm not directly. I asked Madrid.
Actually, Vani will ask Madrid that. It was just like, yeah, actually, I will
Yeah.
know.
Wait, sorry, you're cutting off a
Just in
bit. Can you say it
case.
again?
I said Avani also wants to know, like, just in case. Just in case.
Just in case, right? Worst case scenario.
How are you going about this? Like, you guys have been on the boat for like maybe an hour.
After she's finished inspecting the ship, yeah. After she's finished inspecting the ship, like, just in case. What is that? I would like to know that capability.
Oh, you mean cutting off?
You mean you're cutting off?
No. I see. She wants to know. She will ask, like, what are your combat capabilities after she has finished inspecting the ship?
Did you ask what are your combat capabilities or the oracle's? Because you cut off again.
All of them.
All of them.
All the whole group. As a group, like, what are your combat capabilities?
Madrid.
Just so
Madrid, like,
we
sort of
know to take it into account.
Yeah, Madrid will like lean back against the railing. You guys are going at like a pretty fast clip. It's not like nauseating, but it's like definitely not comfortable. It's going pretty fast. There's a breeze. He like leans up against the railing. He's just like, well, I myself am a decently capable warrior. My priority, as I've mentioned, is keeping the Oracle safe. And my men here are trained to throw down their lives in service of the greater good. That is keeping her futuristness in tip-top health. And so they're trained their whole lives essentially to, be of use in this manner. But to be quite frank with you, part of why we required the extra help is our battle prowess is not really here in the air, so to speak. We're more of an, underwater fighting force. And so there is just to be said a weakness for this in our ranks.
Avani nods in understanding. Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah. So he's like, listen, we're kind of fish out of water here, literally. So hence the need to hire more people for help.
Okay. This is just that's good to know. So, if anything happens, we know how to plan for it.
Well, yes.
I think as we're, I don't know, maybe, boarding the boat or, kind of early on, I kind of like whisper Yuli to the side, like, hey, do you know anything about this Oracle person? Like, if this person's so important, then surely you must know something, right?
I'm telling you now, Yuli doesn't know who this person is.
Okay,
Yuli, I think you guys can ask Yuli first off about the Feywild, but also like keep in mind Yuli is a sheltered, not to say this, I say this with all the love in my heart, Yuli is a sheltered iPad baby, kind of an idiot. Like she's not gonna know anything about war plans. She's not gonna know anything about politics. Like she barely knows what the Arcana is because she read it in a picture book. Like it's not. It's nice to have someone from the Feywild. This is the wrong person to have if you need any information. Well, girl, am I wrong?
She can't even find her way home.
She needs a GPS that's set up by her brother to help her find her way home, and she's from here. Like, I think asking her is a nice idea, but I wouldn't bank on it as like an automatic information dump.
Expectations adjusted.
But yes. For this is for my sake and also for Rain's sake.
Wait, is the Oracle medium-sized?
Yeah, she's a medium-sized. She's like, I think around Sonbei's height, actually, kind of short.
Okay.
Like humanoid looking from the outside because she's all hooded up, right?
Yeah, she's all hooded up, but it's not like once you're on the boat, you can see her face from under the hood. It's a little shadowed, but she is also like a fish person. She's got like like kind of dappled blue and like greenish skin, and her eyes are sort of like a pearly white color. And she like gives you a smile from under the hood and like waves her fingers, but she's far enough that like if you try to approach her, like 2 or 3 guards will start like almost automatically like closing up next to her so you can't get closer than maybe like 3 meters away.
Alright. Yes, as we're crossing, are some of us keeping watch, I suppose, for hags on the
On the
I
sea.
know,
Yeah,
horizon
I see
line?
that.
We definitely should.
Hags on the horizon lines, man.
Yeah, all of you can
Yeah,
give
Bunny.
me...
Avani for sure is.
Yeah, Hags on the Horizon. That sounds like a sick band. Yeah, you guys, you can make me... It's almost like watch, right? I think it's not very productive for all of you to be staring out into the ocean at once. I think your attention spans will wane about after like an hour. So you guys can do it in shifts. You can determine what order you'd like to do it in. I will say each shift can be approximately 2 hours on the sea. At some point you will have to sleep if you don't want to take a level of exhaustion. But yeah, feel free to... I will say at this point, it will have been... I think you're maybe 6 hours away from needing to rest for people who need to rest.
I think Avani will take the shift just before we are supposed to sleep because like she has dark vision and I think not everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
No, can Kevin go while it's still light?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, that's a good call.
Go first.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead and make your your perception check, your watch.
Can I roll? Wait, do I get inspiration?
Yeah,
Sure.
you did
With
the
my-
you did the recap. Feel free.
Okay. Okay, that's even worse. Never mind.
Yeah, Kevin,
Are we
you're
going-
like,
Sorry, are we going in shifts of 2 people or just 1 person per shift?
I don't think you need to do
said
2
something-
people shifts.
Okay.
Unless you want to, I'm like not forcing you.
Oh, good.
We're okay doing like 1 person per shift because like we're anticipating a lot of activity during nighttime, right? And at the very least, like Sonmei has like 2 hours extra, so she can go all the way at the back.
Yeah. So you guys have essentially 3 shifts before nightfall, and after that you will need to take shifts again for 2 more hours of watch, and the DC will be higher once night falls.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Hako can take a shift. I can roll for Hako, no problem.
And if I'm not wrong, Hako does not have dark vision either, right?
Yes, so I think we should do Hako's shift next because they don't have dark vision. Is that right?
Yeah.
I can do that. Let me go get their sheet. Get over here.
I don't think Yuli has dark vision either, right?
I don't think Yuli
Does
has
Yuli
dark
not?
vision either. Dude, I don't think fairies have dark
Oh.
vision.
Fairies don't? Oh!
They
okay.
don't?
Is that the case? Question mark?
I don't know. I was just assuming they did because, like, regular elves do. I was like, oh, she's an elf.
She's
know.
a fairy. Let me see. Features. Yeah. Species features. Yeah. They don't have dark vision.
Oh,
That's so
dang.
funny. Yeah, girl can't see in the dark.
Actually, who are the people who don't need a lot? Again, it's Hako and Sonmei, right?
Yeah, Hako and Sonmei both. Hako needs even less than Sonmei. Sonmei needs 4
Okay.
hours. Yeah.
Okay, so actually, Avani has dark vision as a spell, so she can give Hako dark vision.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
That's fine. That works. So that will make it a little bit easier for... Well, if Hako does it during the day while there's still light, then you don't need to cast the spell. Because we can just
but I
have...
mean for the next shift, right?
for the next shifts, yes. The subsequent night shifts, correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you can cast that when Hako does her night shift. I'll have Hako do the second shift, and then Yuli do the third. How does that sound?
Okay.
Yeah,
'cause
Lily went to bed.
Yuli went to bed immediately after her shift. She's like, all right, peace. Let me do Hako's. Oh my god. Okay.
Oh,
What he was
Okay. So I think Yeah, I guess I'll have to do it. I was waiting for someone to roll high enough. I guess I rolled high enough.
Nice.
All right.
So you guys are like,
roll.
Jesus, where was this roll yesterday? Okay, you all were like, for context, my character died yesterday in our Saturday campaign.
Oh my god.
Straight up KO'd. Goodbye.
So actually, Mani's character decided to stay dead.
Yeah.
Not
Well,
died, but like stay dead.
they could have been rezzed, but essentially, like, my character was a spore druid who was like, I don't want to hurt people hippie, and the last thing they did before they died was like whip a guy, pull him into the water, and try to drown him. And when they were dead and like they were trying to be resurrected, they were like, wait, I kind of don't like that I did that. Maybe I should stay dead. Bury me in the mushroom pile so I'm returned to the earth. Damn. And so they didn't get resurrected.
Wow.
Wow.
Anyway, Hako, I think, is like leaning out. I think Hako actually climbs up to the crow's nest. There is a crow's nest to this boat. They climb up, and for Hako, I think for several of you actually, most of you are not really like, yes, Omran, you are a water person, but most of your experience on the waters has not been the open sea. It has been like rivers and canals, and I think with Hako even less so, that they've experienced any like sort of large expanses of water like this. And so they sort of like take in and observe the already foreign landscape in an even more foreign context, being like open body of water, because from where you are at the moment, I'll move the butterfly to like where you guys are. You guys are here, right? From here, you can only just barely see land on the edges of your vision. It's quite fast and feels extremely far away from you. And it's that sort of like empty vastness that you've pulled into that Hako like notices not something on the horizon, but like from their vantage point on the crow's nest, they like look down and they see the boat. And they see the people like milling about. I think at the moment Madrid is like sitting on like sitting next to the captain by the like the captain's wheel, and the oracle is like going down the stairs seemingly to go talk to one of the guards about something. You guys are sort of milling about. Some of you are like probably in the, what do you call it, the hold, like settling your stuff. Hako notices like all these people like milling on the boat. And then they notice like the water around the boat is strangely darker. Like, but the boat casts a shadow, but like the shadow is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And as like the shadow sort of becomes larger than the boat underneath, there is the sounds of like water, a large volume of water moving, and a large like clap on the boat as a massive red tentacle grabs one of the guards that was on the side, yanks it into the sea as he screams and falls into the ocean. And in that same moment, 7 other tentacles emerge from the sides of the boat. And you are here. Let me show up where all the tentacles are. And Hako notices as well the appearance of a boat almost from the mists of the ocean with the shadow next to your boat. It has materialized next to you, and they've stuck harpoons into the side of your boat. You guys are currently being boarded by this ship. There's the chemicals. Go ahead and put your tokens where you'd like to be on the boat. This boat, let me reveal all the little guys on there. Sea hags, am I right?
Wait. Hags have boats now?
Hags have votes. Whoa, why is Obi so
What the-
big?
I don't know.
Shrink your
Where's-
man.
Where's
How do I
everybody?
show
I'll be
that?
next to where people are.
I need someone to put my icon there.
Okay, I'll put your icon there. Hold on. I got it. Deep-up-up.
Where
Where's the
do we
characters?
get-
I'll be very nice and let you guys pick where you want to be.
I think
Where
I
is Oracle?
need to add
Who is Oracle? I
mine.
mean?
This individual is the Oracle, and then this is Madrid. The captain, when that happened, he was just like, nope, and he immediately went inside. So he's not here.
That's the Oracle?
The captain, yeah, the captain's job is not to protect the Oracle.
Sorry.
He's here to to steer the boat.
For a moment, I thought it was Madrid. I was like, wait.
Yeah, there was a guard next to the Oracle. He got yanked into the ocean by this tentacle.
Okay.
Where's Sunmate? There you are. And
I
then
think
let
you
me
need to
give
add
you.
mine too. I cannot find.
Yep. I'll give you here. And I'll give you perms. And I will say Hako is up here on the crow's nest. What do you call it? Yuli is inside, underneath the deck. She's not helping.
Yet again. How many times has it been?
Yep. And yeah, you guys, we will need to roll initiative, please.
Yeah. Oh, heads up. I also need to go soon because I got work tomorrow.
Yep, I think we'll just roll initiative and then we'll call it for today, actually. That might be for the best. Because we probably should not be doing this fight with people gone. Hee hee.
Okay, so I got a 31 for my initiative.
Crazy town. Make sure to add yourself to the initiative, please.
All right. I don't know why. That's the...
Where's my guy?
And I'll roll for these guys. 1 second.
Add to initiative. Whoa.
So wait,
This
let me-
initiative.
This
Here's
is-
name.
He doesn't have it.
Avani.
Oh wait.
I will roll
I
this. Add the
Mine.
menu.
I think mine should be 21.
21, yeah.
Stats have been snapped.
Yep.
Just swapped.
9. So
Then-
these guys go 9.
Wait, sorry, I'm gonna replace. Wow, I could be so small. Then delete. Yep. Okay. There we go. Initiative. Low. Chew to initiative. And now we wait for a month for this battle.
Yeah, then you wait for a month for the battle. Let me finish doing the initiatives for the other ads.
Come back, and then it's Tentacle Wars.
Yeah, welcome to the Tentacle
Whoa.
Wars, boys. So they have a +1. Okay.
So many incidents just waiting to
Yeah.
happen.
Hey, we've been incident free today, okay?
Yeah.
Oh, these guys rolled like ass.
Shocking.
Well, good for them. They get a surprise round because they surprised ya. But why is their name SHH1? Don't worry about it. That's the hags. 3.
Do they still get a surprise round even when Hako noticed them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hako noticed
Well-
the tentacle popping out of the water and the shadow, but they were already approaching you guys when it happened, so
I see.
I see.
Well,
+1 to this hag.
I don't seem to have perms on my token.
Oh, sorry. Let me...
and
There you go. You should have it now. Everybody
Thank
else okay with
you.
perms?
yeah.
Sweet.
I have a question. So I cannot be surprised while
Oh,
I'm conscious,
crazy.
but, that's not like that doesn't like matter for does it like apply to everyone else when it comes to the battle? I'm kind of confused. Does it
So
basically?
surprised is a what do you call it? It's like a debuff basically for everybody else. It doesn't apply to you, but they still get their round of combat before everybody else.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so basically you can move or take an action, I think, but like nobody else can do it. So this it's surprised is a condition. It's not like a I get to skip the round. So like
So actions, reactions in their turn. So everybody else
Yeah.
has to. So basically, Am I the first?
Yes.
I probably am. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would be able to take my.
Yes, you'll be able to take all of your actions this first set. Nobody else will except for the enemies. Actually,
and
the
one more
Oracle
thing.
also is not surprised for obvious reasons.
We are both. So one more
21.
thing.
Can I ask who the Oracle is on this
It's
boat?
this
Like,
one.
which token is that? Okay.
This one. I will post a picture of the Oracle, just so you guys know. Her. Da, da, da. Du, du, du.
Where is the door to like go down? Actually,
The what?
the door to go down into the.
Oh, it's here. It's here. So this is like a door, and then you go inside the door to go down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's all of them. Sunmay, Avani, what are your dexes?
We're the same now because Avani got one.
+1, yeah.
Oh, plus
Yeah.
1. Okay, the attack is also +1, so I guess she'll go first. That's fine. Okay, I think. Oh, I need to roll for the Oracle. Let me roll for her.
Roll for the other unsurprised.
Oh, my girly. She rolled a 1. Oh, tragic.
Let's see.
Okay, tragic. Me.
I guess I know what I'm maybe doing my first round.
Okay, her name's Token 113, but that's the Oracle.
Right?
Okay,
Token 113. You have to.
She
you need
rolled
to
a
say-
1, but it's +3, so it's a 4. And then roll for the dudes. Merfolk. Let me roll. What did these guys get? Come on. Oh, 5? Okay. So,
Let me
6. I'll just have all of these guys go in the same turn for my sanity. Oh, 2 merfolk. 6. Then remove one of them.
I was like, where would Avani be? I think because everybody is on the far side of the bush. Front. Probably back to like, have a look at the other side just in case. Just thinking about it.
Another nat 20? Okay. Well,
Crazy.
Really?
he has a 9. He has a -1, so he'll take 19.
That's so great.
Okay. I think that's everybody that needs to roll. Sweet.
I think.
Nice.
Okay. Any questions? I think we're done for today otherwise.
I do have
Yeah.
a question actually. You
Okay.
said that I visit Oberon doesn't have connection to the gods, so in the game would he not have his 3 inspiring priority dice during the battle?
Correct. You cannot use those here.
Okay. Sad.
I know.
Okay.
Okay. All good?
Okay.
I'll see you
I
guys
have a
in a
question for
month.
you unrelated to the game, but yeah.
Okay. I'll stop recording.